the first concert, if you remember that?
My first concert when I went as a
fan,
probably it was something in my teenage years, and then it was something local. Some local metal bands. It was the first one. I don't remember names. It was like from Krakow scene, like very underground bands, and it was like a metal bar called Proxima. Probably that's quite famous. In the metal, of course, metal background. But first serious gig I've ever seen was probably. I remember Cradle of Filth somewhere there, but I don't know if it was the first one. I don't think so. But it was Cradle of Filth, Christian Death, yeah, something like this. I don't remember now. After so many shows, it was like, I don't know.
And the first show as a musician?
First show as a musician. So the very first one, let's say as a guitar musician, as a guy with a guitar, because I started, as I said before, I started with saxophone and with school concerts and this kind of this part of my life. But the first show as guitarist, it was in high school with my band called the Black Manifest, and I was singer and guitarist, and I was 16 probably, and it was like high school concert. My high school just rent a huge club, huge venue in Krakow, and there were bands from the school. So yeah, we did some black metal songs.
And do you write lyrics?
Yes, I do. I do write lyrics.
What are you inspired by the most when it comes to lyrics?
Books, movies, music, life, and overall. It's hard to say, you know. I don't write poetry. Let's say I'm not this kind of guy, but I analyze the reality, you know, and I try to put it into the paper, you know. And I write about some emotions, some things in my life, in this or that way, you know, in this or that convention, I would say. So this is it. But it's hard to say. I don't have like one thing that I take inspiration from. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of things, you know. And I guess that if you ask anybody about where he gets this inspiration, everybody will say something more or less like this. Because when you write lyrics, sometimes you have something in your brain and you just write it down because you think about something and you're into something, like, let's say, some kind of mythology or some kind of history, or you just met a few people and you were talking with them and it was interesting conversation and you have some feelings, you know, about it, and you write it down. So, and of course, the question is if you want to write just lyrics to use it somewhere somehow, or you want to write for particular music. You know, if you, for example, you have songs and you write to the songs, then you have to focus on the convention that you're writing metal lyrics, of course. So you're not gonna sing about, I don't know, love, this kind of stuff. But you know, inspiration is everywhere.
And what are your favorite writers and authors?
Oh, it's a lot of things. I remember there was a lot of books that made impact on me, that were serious one, and I remember Frank Herbert, Dune, yeah, it's in English, it's Dune. I remember Koshinsky. I remember Yerofeyev, some Russian poets, some Russian writers. I remember, for example, Nick Cave. I know that he writes books. When I don't remember the title of the book, but when the S saw the angel, it was an amazing book. You know, now when I read this now, it's you know, there's some time that passed by. But I was a teenager, I read this book and it was like, wow. It's devastating, you know, the evil in men. It was really interesting story. Marcus, I like Marcus.
And do you remember your first LP or CD or cassette?
So the first album I bought, it was probably some Polish punk rock band. Yeah, it was that one. The name is Big Tits, which means big tits in English. I was like 12 or something, 11, probably, because my parents used to buy CDs and used to buy cassettes, so I had like some discography at home, so I had Guns N' Roses, all this kind of stuff, because of my parents. But you know, when it comes to overall saying hard rock metal, I remember probably Appetite for Destruction. not on CD, on the cassette. It was the first thing. Then, hard to say now. There was hundreds of those, so I was just buying like few albums at the same time, but back in time, so mostly rock, metal, black metal.
Is there any songwriter and musician who inspired you recently?
Recently, maybe not recently, but I'm inspired by some musicians, like all the time inspired. Guy from Emperor, Isan. It was like, for me, it was like, wow, some kind of idol, artistic wise, because he was amazing. He is an amazing singer and a guitarist and songwriter. So he was like top person for me. Like, wow, I would like to sing. When I was a teenager, I was listening to the first or the second album of Emperor, and I was like, wow, this is the man, And I started singing because I heard this clean vocals in Emperor, for example, and I wanted to sing like that. And I was trying to learn this technique of singing, how to do this in the proper way, to sing this kind of clean vocal, and that was the main reason at the beginning. Then the reasons changed, but the beginning was like that. I like guys from Norwegian scene, like the guy from Thorns. The first Thorns album is amazing. It's very influential on me, I would say. Recently, it's hard to say recently, it changes. I listen to quite huge variety of music, and I don't have like, they're not persons, I would say. There are more like albums or riffs or songs. This is influential to me, not the artist himself.
If there was no music in your life, how would you express yourself?
This is the question. I have no idea. Whatever I do, it's always somewhere around music, in music, or with music, and I don't really can imagine my life without it. I started very early, as a small kid, and it was always in my life. My first impressions in my life are with music, and I can imagine. It's some kind of therapy for me too, Probably I would be a much more frustrated guy. Maybe I would go to jail for example or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's one of the most important things in my life. So this question is like, I never asked myself, what I would do outside of music. I don't know. I'd like to cook. But yeah, I don't know, the chef, I don't know.
What does art mean to you?
So art, it's very wide question. What is art? One word, it's freedom. With art you can do anything you want. This is important to me. What does it mean being an artist? Just making things from nothing. Like you have possibilities, and you took them together, you put them together, and there is something new. And it's something personal. And it's something that you can focus all your life on it, because you believe in this so strong, so much. It's the art, and being the artist to me is a state of mind, and it's completely egoistic feeling. So to be the artist, you have to be completely egocentric. Just my idea, what I see, what I want to do. This is how I see the art. And the question was, what is art to me in my life? I consider music as part of art. So if music is everything to me, so the art is a lot to me too, because you can play music, but you can compose music, and composing music is art, is some kind of art. Interpretation of some kind of songs in your way is art, because you're doing something new. You take older things and you do the new ones. This is art too.
And what do you feel on stage when you're performing?
A lot of huge variety of feelings, It's some kind. To me, I was always looking for this kind of music and this kind of bands when I was playing, when I could feel like I was a bit in a different dimension for a moment, where I could be like some kind of different person for a moment. It's like, when I became some kind of channel of energy. And it's not only just me, but it's some kind of energy talking through me, I would say. And this is a very strong feeling. It's some kind of trance, I can say. I really like these situations, and it's not that it happens every time, But I would like it to happen every time when I'm on stage and I'm looking for these situations, this music that makes me feel like this, that I'm part of something. That there are few musicians that are better together than just themselves, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
For example, you can be an amazing musician by yourself, but when you are with others on stage, you are all together, you are better than separate. And this is what I'm looking for in music performing. When you can do the art, I would say, do the art. When there is this art, so something more than just music, and something extra, it's feelings like, and this energy from people. Sometimes you have it, you're going on stage and you see that the audience is on your side and you feel this energy growing in you, that you have these people and some kind of battery.
If you could summon a historical person or a mythological creature for a chat, who would you pick and why?
I don't know, Jesus Christ, Buddha. Some of this the persons that started religion, this is important. I would know what happened in their brains, how did they feel, how they really were, and not the interpretation of the people around them. This would be something interesting. Yeah.
What is your hobby?
Hobby? So, cooking. I really love cooking, I cook a lot. I like making cocktails. I used to work as a bartender and I really like this job. Because you are mixing some things. I like it. I'm also really interested in astronomy. Astronomy, cosmos, planets, stars, science fiction movies, but not this Star Wars thing, but more like serious stuff. Like older movies when there's more science than fiction. You asked me before about the books. I read a lot of science fiction. I really like Lem, for example, a Polish writer. He was amazing. I read a lot of his books, and it's influential for me too.
Do you have a funny story to share?
Funny stories? Lots of funny stories to share. But one of the funniest story was we just started a tour in Russia. It was 5 years ago or something. We finished the show and we went to sauna, to Russian banya, which is some kind of jacuzzi. It's of course it's sauna, there's jacuzzi, there is some swimming pool. I just went to take a regular shower. Just wanted to wash myself, some paint here and there. I went to take a shower, but I forget my flip-flops. I left it in the bus, and I just fall. There was slip on the floor. I was just washing myself, and I was just and I just fall down, and I broke my left. I broke my left arm. Next day I went to hospital. I got this plaster for my arm, and I didn't play 5 or 6 shows, and they were. Adam, the rest, they were on stage as a 3-piece band, and I was just standing there with the beer in my hand, and I was feeling like really ashamed, like what I'm doing here. People were like, so you're not playing? No, I broke my arm 2 days before or something. So 3 shows and then another 6 without me. It was a big I think it's funny. That time it wasn't funny, but when I see it from the distance, I guess it's some kind of tricky thing.
Listening to 5 favorite albums of all time?
5? Just 5?
Only 5.
Only 5, not 100? Because 100 would be much easier. Appetite for Destruction, that's for sure. Burzum, Wyzlysy Taros. Mayhem, The Mysteries, Them Satanas plus Contemplation of War. All 80s rock on one album, the best of 80s. it can be another album. Antichrist Superstar, Marilyn Manson. I mean, it's a very important album. I really like it. The Prodigy, Fat of the Land. It was an important album. It was something great in that time. Metallica, Ride the Lightning. It was something that I was learning playing guitar, right, and writing, and master of puppets then. I think it's not. It's actually more than 5, so
approved.
Should be okay. Yeah, approved. Yeah.
What's the meaning of life?
The meaning of life? Life itself. No, to live your life, not just to exist, but to live, to see new things, to meet new people, to learn something, to do the art, if you want to do the art, to taste life. This is the meaning to me. And it's to always search for something new, and to develop yourself, to learn new things. This is the meaning, because I don't see like one thing, one goal that you have to go into, but this is the labyrinth of different goals and specific situations that you have to go through. And this is for me, it's just life itself is the meaning.
Leave a message to your friends.
Thank you for support. This is the most important at the moment. Thank you for all these years of support when I was guitarist in Hate, and thank you for support Kriegsmaschine, and thank you for support my future projects when they will come, probably this year. I hope so. So it's gonna be a lot of things in the internet that I'm gonna spread. So I hope you're gonna like it.
You will stay tuned. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.